Hey everybody, it's going down now right here at Geek Intel, and I just want to welcome you back. And today we are going to review the Justice Society World War II DC animation cartoon, so stay tuned.
So do for a mission that's impossible. They pick me over down what to do when I overcome obstacles. Training and combat is made to stand out.
Hey everybody, Michael Sylvester here. I'm just going to tell you right now, I watched the Justice Society World War II DC animation cartoon and I loved it. Now there's one or two things I did not like about it, but overall I love the movie. Now one of the things we're going to start off with is about the beginning of the movie. It's pretty much showing Steve Trevor with Franklin Roosevelt, and they're talking about how the Nazi is expanding and the U.S. is not involved with the war yet. So Steve Trevor comes up with this plan to assemble some of the metahumans to help to fight this war. Now this will also include Jay Garrett of The Flash, Rex Taylor of Iron Man, and then of course you got Diana Lance, Black Canary, who is my #1 favorite hero, and then you got Carter Hall, who is Hawkman. Now what I loved about this, they had the Black Canary with the Justice Society. And now if you're some of the old school people who read some of the older comic books before they started doing all this rebooting, revamping, converging all the Earths together for the Crisis Infinity Earths. Before all that, there was always a Earth 1 and Earth 2. Of course, Earth 2, which had originally, which Diana Lance is originally from. That's a whole long story. You just got to look that up just to get to know that. So anyway, Steve Trevor pretty much was telling the president that the Nazi is trying to gather up all these magical artifacts, so they need to get involved and needed to do something. So pretty much he gathered all these people and they end up getting Wonder Woman to lead this group. And now we're going to cut to Central City, basically showing Barry Allen and Iris West. Excuse me. Now this Iris West is pretty much a take from the CW. They decided to get a black Iris West right here, in which I love the Iris West on the CW. I think she is doing a wonderful job. Cadence is her name, I believe. I'm not for sure, but there's been different versions. Now if you also remember from the Flash Paradox right there, Iris was white. Of course, you know, came back, everything changed, Iris still white. And then of course they had Justice League Apocalypse War, Dark Justice League I should say, and then Flash goes back and looks like he rebooted the whole universe again. A couple of minor changes. Now one of the couple of things I noticed, but the way he was talking about Superman, he hadn't really known Superman that well, so I'm figuring like, alright, there is no Justice League yet. The way he was talking, he just got off that vibe. And of course, my correction was correct. Brainiac starts attacking the city as Superman's having some problem, and Brainiac captures him using his androids with the tentacles, and Superman just cannot seem to be able to break free from those for some reason, having restrained his legs and arms. Okay, I can go with that. Then the Flash shows up, started helping them free Superman, and of course Brainiac has a kryptonite projectile and he starts shooting straight at Superman. So the Flash runs and grabs, and next thing you know, he vanishes, and he looks like he's going to this vortex right here. And then one of the biggest surprises that I like, Dr. Fate was right there in the mist. It was telling him to follow his voice.
Keep running. Follow my voice.
So they end up throwing Flash, presumably back in time during World War II. Now, I want to point out one thing. the fight scenes with Wonder Woman and the Nazis, it looks like they took a page from the Wonder Woman movie. Not the second one, but the first one. There, this fight scene, she did not use the magic lasso. That really would have been copying them. But the movements, the fighting style, and the speed they were using in this animation, I could swear it was almost a play-by-play from different segments of these two movies for the Wonder Woman movies they put together. But they did make it a little bit different. Scene right there where she's crashing through the window from the original Wonder Woman movie. And it was just totally awesome. Flash busts through right there, and at first Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, was figuring that the Flash, our Flash, was their version of a Flash, a Nazi version right there. But of course, you know, Flash is all confused, like, what? Huh? What's going on? But of course, Flash proved his worth. He ends up saving a couple of people, ended up saving Steve Trevor. This is why I figured there was no Justice League yet, and the time that Flash is from. He did not recognize Wonder Woman or Hawkman. So one of the things that I love about it, they kind of holding true to, if you read some of the Volume 1 early comic books of Wonder Woman before they reboot. I mean the Volume 1, I mean the olders from the 60s and 70s. Steve Trevor was head over heels and always asking Wonder Woman to marry him. Wonder Woman turns him down, loves him, but says there got to be pretty much peace on the earth. And that is was wonderful to see that, because it looks like they are kind of holding true to some of the original versions of these characters, which I think it's awesome. But of course, the Steve Trevor and the Wonder Woman, where they had the boyfriend, girlfriend, Steve Trevor chasing them, was the Earth 1 version. I really don't know too much about the Earth 2 version of Wonder Woman, which is, don't know if the Steve Trevor chased that Wonder Woman all the time, was trying to marry her. And then again, I don't remember there was a Steve Trevor on Earth 2. Was there? Huh. I'm not for sure. So they end up leaving. They go back to, I guess, their headquarters. And then they have this scene right there with the Justice Society America round table. And it shows the members sitting around the table. I thought that was so cool. I love that scene. It's pretty awesome. Steve Trevor's telling them that there is another mission and they have to go rescue this person who is a prisoner, because they got this code, and this code needs to be broken, and this person is the only one who can break it. Now, when they get there and you see the castle, it kind of reminds me of the Red Skull from Marvel Comics. I'm seriously, when I saw this castle, I was expecting the Red Skull to be in this castle. It just kind of had that look and that feel to it for some reason. I don't know why. Anybody else seen this movie had that feel? My gosh. So anyway, they break their way in and they're trying to find them. And then of course they got this photographer they call Shakespeare, and find out bullets bounces off of him. Now, before that even happened, when he went into the cage, this young person handed him a package, and there's a rip, and you could tell from the what's inside it was part of the family crest of Kal-El, Superman's home planet. But you find out this is a alternate Earth. So Flash did not went back in time. He actually went to a parallel Earth. Iron Man, Black Canary, Hawkman, and the Flash, they end up finding this person, and Hawkman end up breaking this person, and it's Kent Nelson, the Dr. Fate. Now, I kind of figure it was Dr. Fate, because if you take a look on there was like, they show this man in the chair, and there's like this helmet sitting on top of this table, and then there's the back and the front view, and it looked like Fate's helmet. And then when they did the up close, and when he says Kent Nelson, I'm like, that's Dr. Fate right there. But of course, you read some of the Justice Society comic books, the older version ones, Dr. Fate was also a member of the Justice Society, but I guess not in this one. So anyway, Fate was able to break the code, and it led them to the Bermuda Triangle. Our heroes get on board along with Steve Trevor, and they got into some trouble, and then some Atlanteans showed up to help them out, and they escorted them back to their base. And there, behold, Aquaman was there. Was there an Earth 2 Aquaman? Guess I need to really search that, see if there was. I just really didn't think about that till I actually saw Aquaman. I like, okay, they got an Aquaman on this Earth. But apparently, they got this character called the Advisor. And it turned out, found out this Advisor was actually not Atlantean. He's actually human, but he has the power to control people, to hypnotize people. And he had Aquaman under his spell, so they end up trapping all of the heroes, and they couldn't get out. Now, one thing I forgot to bring up, because there were two Flashes there on that Earth, the Speed Force was not as strong for each one. Jay Garrett figured out, okay, we're both drawing off the Speed Force, so it's kind of like cutting our powers in half a little bit, so we're not as strong and we get tired just as fast. Of course, Barry Allen had no idea what the Speed Force was, so that's another point showing this is the beginning of pretty much of the heroes of our Earth. So it looks like they're really doing the whole reboot thing, because the Superman movie, The Man of Tomorrow, had the Martian Manhunter, which he did not know who he was, and pretty much it shows them. So right there, we already know we got the Martian Manhunter, Superman, and the Flash. 3 of the original Justice League. Now listen to me. Original Justice League. If you go back and read the very first original Justice League comic books, it was Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. Cyborg did not even exist yet. And when Cyborg started existing and was created, he was part of the Teen Titans. Not part of the Justice League, but part of the Teen Titans. Okay? Which, I mean, I love having Cyborg as a member of the Justice League, but I really hate they're trying to make him like he's one of the original founding members. No, I just wish they go back and do like have the original ones be the original founding members. But to tell you the truth, I hope DC does not do another reboot. These reboots are really getting very tiresome. So anyway, our heroes are trapped, and so the Jay Garrett Flash was telling the Flash, I can vibrate so fast, my molecules can phase through solid objects. And Barry Allen like, what? Really? And of course, you know, then again, it shows Barry Allen don't know really nothing about his powers yet. Jay Garrett helping Barry vibrate and pushed him right through the floor. And of course, Barry was able to free all the heroes. Now the scene cut to the, did they say the East Coast? I should have taken notes. Anyway, it looked like a scene from the Justice League movie, Atlantis Attack. You know, you had the Justice League War, which with the Apocalypse. Then you got the Justice League Atlantis Attack, where Aquaman and his evil brother was attacking Manzelworld. But this is pretty much the same thing. So for this time, it's Aquaman leading them. So that's kind of remind me of that scene. And then we get to the point where Wonder Woman Flash shows up, and Wonder Woman and Aquaman starts getting into this all-out battle, and I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, this is like Flashpoint, where Wonder Woman and Aquaman are battling each other. This, I mean, it's going all crazy. Forgot to mention that Aquaman released the Kraken. I guess that's a good word. That's the, I guess this is what he's called, the Kraken. Released them upon the city, and of course, a couple of other animals, this flying shark and this giant crab. Now this giant crab is just as fast as Jay Garrett. Now take it that Jay is not at full power because he's not getting the full advantage of the Speed Force, but still, Jay is pretty quick and he's pretty fast, and that crab go just keeping up with him. Totally, it was one of the funniest things I ever seen. Like, oh my gosh. So it was totally hilarious. During the battle, Black Canary and Hawkman is trying to handle this flying shark. Now this flying shark ends up stabbing Hawkman in the back, which I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my god, just like Legends of Tomorrow season 1 where Hawkman gets stabbed. I'm like, and he dies, but he ends up, and Black Canary is like totally mad. I mean, she is P.O. and she is just heartbroken because, you know, they were like real good friends, real close. Black Canary ends up using her sonic cry on this creature. This right here just really shows how powerful her sonic cry could be. It showed like the flesh and the meat and the bones falling off this thing. It just like, it was just incredible. I mean, some of y'all who knows me, she is like one of my all-time favorites. Black Canary gets so mad because Hawkman is dead. Of course, Hawkman is telling her like, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to be reincarnated again, and I'm going to be with my loved one. Hawkman is like another one of my favorite. He's not in my top 5, but I love the Hawkman and Hawkgirl. They are right up there in the top 10, that's for sure. So I was kind of like, hey, no! Why'd they do that? I wish they had let him live. And then there was another scene where Iron Man gets shot and looks like he's not too good of a shape. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Wonder Woman about to get stabbed with the trident. Of course, Steve Trevor gets in the car and runs right into him, and Wonder Woman gets up there and knocks Aquaman flying across the road. And of course, at that time, Aquaman starts coming to his senses. He's not under control no more. He looks up, and then he sees all this damage that his people are doing, that the Kraken's doing. And then he was sort of like, oh God, what have I done? And then, of course, they all leave. The advisors start talking, and they're talking about the noises in the background. And he's holding the trident where, forgot to mention this, Wonder Woman broke the trident. Steve Trevor, knowing this guy had a weapon in his hand, turned his back to him to see all these Nazi bombers coming right towards them, and then he gets stabbed right in the back. I go, what? And like, oh my gosh. Ugh. But of course, you know, the advisor did trick them, and they did caught Steve off guard when he seen all these bombers coming up there. So now these bombers are getting closer and closer, and then you got the two Flashes, Barry and Jay, and then you got Black Canary and Wonder Woman all sitting there staring. They said, oh my gosh, what we're going to do? Wonder Woman was asking, like, where's Hawkman? Black Canary was about to tell Wonder Woman, and then that's where the bomber started exploding, and Flash go, oh wait, look. And then Flash said, like, what in the world? And Flash said, not of this world. And then you see the back of Superman wearing the costume, jumping, leaping. Now, on the Earth 2 Superman, when they first originally came out, and also the Superman back in the 60s, our version of Superman, Superman really couldn't fly. He jumped, pretty much. I think later on they made it where he could fly, and it kind of stuck with that. But he originally was able to leap and jump, and that's what he had him doing. Leaping and jumping, plane to plane to plane, and destroying each one. Ended up saving them. And then, of course, he lands right down there, and everybody's like, Shakespeare? He shaved the beer. And he tells us, well, you know, it's Clark Kent, mostly. And, of course, during this time, we found out the reason he had not became Superman yet, because Martha and Jonathan of that Earth died when he was 3 years old, and he was brought up in the orphanage, so he pretty much only cared about himself. When he looked at himself, you know, of course, during that time, Flash was like, "What's going on? I know you're one of the most kindest men I ever seen." And of course, you know, that was found out earlier in the movie. But you know, Superman said, so I figured it was time to get into the game. And of course, they call him Shakespeare, and he said his name is Clark Kent. And then Flash said, call him Superman. That's the part where it comes where Iron Man is leaning over Steve Trevor's body. Steve Trevor's dying. Wonder Woman sees it, runs over there, and he's crying, and Steve Trevor holds up the engagement ring and asks Wonder Woman, will you grant a dying man's wish? And of course, Wonder Woman's sitting there crying like crazy, and she finally agrees to marry Steve. But at that time, Steve died. I am so glad this is not the Earth 1 version. It just like, what? No, come on. Don't do that. First got rid of Hawkman, now Steve Trevor. First I thought they was going to get rid of Iron Man. Tell you the truth, it probably wouldn't bother me as much if Iron Man did get killed and Hawkman did lived. But that's the direction they went, so I guess that's how to be. So Wonder Woman takes the engagement rings and give it to the Earth 1 Barry, and they says, here, take this. Don't waste a moment. Wonder Woman says, I used to thought I needed to wait till the world was at peace before I can marry him. But it was too late. And he's basically telling Flash, don't wait before it's too late. So Flash was turning around sitting there and was like, okay, well, I guess it's time for me to get back home. So the both Flashes got right there and they started racing and running. And then this is a scene where the CW Flash and Supergirl crossover, where they were running. And you remember how Supergirl just gave Barry a push to help him break through the barrier? Same thing. They were running so fast. Jade ended up giving Barry a push, help him break through the barrier. So now Flash busts through the barrier, and at the same time he sees his other self vanishing. At the same moment he shows up, Flash comes in from behind Superman, slides underneath, grabs a projectile bullet, turns around, swings around fast as he can, and projects it right back at Brainiac, and right in the head, and Brainiac falls over. And the Flash and Superman's like, wait a minute, you was in front of me, behind me? Come on, Superman, he's the fastest man for something, okay? But apparently he didn't ran that to the other side. He was thrown to a parallel Earth, and then he came back, just came from a different direction. Superman was thankful that for the Flash's help, and they're sitting there thinking, and then the Flash go, hey, wait a minute, stop. Listen, there's going to be other dangers out there, more than one of us can handle. And there's also more people like us out there. We should all team up, and we can help create peace on this world and face these dangers that we cannot face alone. And Superman says, like a club? Excuse me. And the Flash will say, yeah, like a club. So they end up shaking hands and stuff like that. And then after that, Flash runs back to Iris. And then, of course, you know, Flash say he's been gone a week. And, you know, but I say here, looks like I only been gone for just a few minutes. Because if you really think about it, the time he ran there and helped Superman, I mean, it was just over just like that. Whoop, 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 whoop. And he was right back. And so in that, sit there talking. And Barry said, oh, wait, almost forgot something. And Iris said, same old Barry, and thought he was going to run back off and come right back and grab something. And if you watch it in the earlier scene, Barry kept running back because he forgot this. Came back, grabbed it, then forgot this. Came back. I think he did that like 4 or 5 times, and it was driving Iris crazy. Now, Barry did not want to commit to Iris in the beginning because he's afraid that he'll put her in danger. But after his experience on that role and saw what happened with Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, he don't want the same thing to happen. So he proposes to Iris and tells her that he loves her, he wants to marry her, and of course Iris West agrees. Pretty much that is the whole animation show right there. If you notice, the animation drawing is a lot different from some of the previous Justice League movies. The outlines of the characters are more thicker, so they actually stand out more. Kind of almost feels like a comic book feel, but I love it. Kate Stanza did a wonderful job voicing Wonder Woman, and of course she had that Amazonian accent I actually like. I hope they bring her back to voice Wonder Woman for future. Matt Boomer, who voiced the Flash, did a great job. I mean, the voice worked. It fit very well. I was very happy with that. And of course, the voice for Superman, Darian Chris voiced Superman. So I think he actually did a good job. Ashley Lathrop, I think how you pronounce her last name. Anyway, she voiced Iris West. Now, here's a couple of things I'm hoping they will do. I just hope they don't just jump right in and make a Justice League based on this. I hope they, this version, they will introduce some of the other characters, doing some solo movies, maybe guest appearance for somebody else. Love to see the Green Lantern cartoon. Want to see a Batman from this version. The Batman and the Dragon, that's not of this world. That is like the Batman from the 60s, early 70s. And of course I would love to see a standalone Wonder Woman. I don't want them to really do the like show her where she gets made, but of course, you know, bring it up during the movie how she was made from clay, which is pretty cool. Well, anyway, everybody, that is my review. I out of a 10 for story, for artwork. Not really was crazy about the style of the artwork, but it was still very good, so I will at least have to give that an 8.5. The flow of the story and moved along right there, I will definitely give a pretty much, I might as well say a 10. I would say there was a couple of scenes there like I was not too crazy about. How they did the Hawkman, where they killed him off. They killed off Steve Trevor. Kent Nelson, Dr. Fate, end up vanishing. I forgot to brought that up, so I'm not for sure what's going on with them. Overall, it was very good. I enjoyed it very much. So anyway, everybody, I am going to let you go. And thank you for staying tuned. And next week, we're going to be opening up My Hero Academia Mystery Box. No, it's not. I am going to Magic City Con, and I will be taping one of my shows down there. Oh my gosh. So it'll either be an episode for Magic City Con or My Hero Academia. It's going to be one of the two. Depends if I can get the Magic City Con video edited in time and get it sent to Vance. So everybody, y'all take it easy. I'll see y'all later, and it's going down.